Good afternoon. JK with Porn Reboot here. I'm on my way back from the gym and I would like to briefly touch on a topic that I feel needs to be addressed. And this is specifically addressed to those men who are over 25 years old. And if you're not 25, that's fine as well. But I am quite literally appalled at the number of men who are in their late 20s and early 30s, sometimes into their late 30s, who are still living with their parents, who do not have goals, and are addicted to pornography and masturbation. I'm appalled because I know what's going to happen to you statistically. I have clients who are in their 50s. I have clients who are approaching their 60s who have fucked their lives up. They have fucked their lives up because when they had their last shot in their late 20s and early 30s to end this addiction, they didn't. They didn't have goals, definite goals. They did not have any ambition. Nothing was going on for them, and they were dependent on others. And this dependency cannot allow you to break free. Let's take one thing for instance. Let us take living with your parents. When you live with your parents at a certain age, in, let's say, American culture, a man who is living with his parents, who is in his late 20s and early 30s, is a what? Fill in the blank. A loser. You can call yourself whatever you want to call yourself. But if you are dependent on others for your finances, if you are dependent on others for a roof over your head, for food to survive, and you are a grown-ass man who does not have any serious disability, then whether you like it or not, your subconscious mind is going to keep replaying that loop in your head that you are a loser. Now, for my Asian brothers, for my African brothers, for those of you who are from other cultures, my Middle Eastern brothers, I know that there are, in your cultures, is not a big deal to live with your parents to a certain age. Culturally, that's actually absolutely fine. But I'm talking for men who live in Western democracies. Again, I will say it very clearly because we do have an international audience. If you are a man who lives in a Western democracy and you are over the age of 25 and you are struggling to quit pornography, living with your parents is something that is going to hold you back, because there are 4 things that you need to handle in recovery. You need to be in the right community. You need to do your trauma work. That is any deep issues you have. If you had a past of sexual abuse, if you have a past of abandonment, if something happened to you when you were younger, something traumatic, you need to deal with that. You need to put yourself in the right environment, and you need to change your biochemistry. Now, before biochemistry, and biochemistry simply means you need to exercise, you need to eat the right food, you just need to balance what is happening within your body. That is very, very important. But before that, one thing that you do need to handle is your environment. So my challenge to those of you who are struggling, especially those of you who are struggling financially, and it has put you in a situation where you have no choice but to be with your parents, is to set a goal for when you're going to leave your parents' home. And that means you will put a date to it, and you're going to put together a plan to work towards that. There is nothing wrong with it if you are working towards something. So let's say you had a big goal, or maybe you made a mistake and you got married early and a divorce wiped you out, or something traumatic happened in your 20s and you had to go back to mom and dad's house to kind of recoup and get energy and refocus and move forward. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But there must be a goal. Don't stay stuck in that environment, because think about it. What you're doing is you're watching porn and masturbating, and all it is doing is medicating the original reason why you are still in that situation. Some of you are literally masturbating because you don't know how to make money, because you don't have a purpose. It's not just like, oh, because I want a girlfriend. You ain't ready to have a girlfriend. You're not ready to be in a relationship if you're 33 years old, living with mom and dad, and you're working a dead-end job, or you don't have any plans for the future. You need to sit down, and beyond goals, guys, you need to have a mission. A mission is something that can carry you through many, many, many years. A mission will do two things for you. A mission will give you confidence in your life because you know you are going somewhere, and this is something that's going to take many years to achieve. All right, so you have that confidence. You're like, I know my place in the world. A mission is also going to help you in your relationships because you will stop putting women on a pedestal. And many of you do that. Many of you put women on a pedestal, and the woman is the number one thing in your life. And I'm like, hey man, what are your goals? And they're like, to make my girlfriend the most happy girl in the world. What the fuck? That blows my mind. The woman you're dating is not your priority. Your mission as a man is your priority. That is it. Your purpose is your priority. Have a purpose and women will stay attracted to you. This is some basic shit, okay? So get that straight too. So that's the thing on relationships. A purpose will help you, a mission will help you. But let's talk a little bit about goals. You have to write your goals out every morning. The goals for where you want to be. You're 32 years old, you're 27 years old. You need to have goals for where you're going to be 3 years from now. Not 5 years and not 2 years. Why 3 years? Because as human beings, it's easier for us to imagine and visualize ourselves 3 years forward and 3 years backwards. Think about it. But when you try to go back 5 years, you start getting confused. Like, hey, was that 4 years ago or was that 5 years ago? So visualize yourself 3 years from now, where you want to be, the exact type of relationship you want to have, how much exactly the dollar amount or whatever your currency is that you want to be making, the sort of career you want. If you want to get more detail, do it down to the type of car you want to have and how you want to be feeling on a daily basis. Do you want to be waking up early in the morning and feeling good and taking care of your health and taking care of your mind? I mean, I did it in my life, and many of my clients have done it. We are literally living the lives that we want to live. That doesn't mean our lives are perfect, but it means that the life I'm living now and the life that many of my recovered clients are living right now is literally what we saw years ago, and we planned for it. So you are in this situation because you haven't planned for it. Don't get me wrong. Things are going to come up. Things are going to derail you. It's okay. It's okay. You're still going to get to that goal, as long as it's not something unrealistic. All right? So, my brothers, those of you over 25, those of you in your late 20s, those of you in your early 30s, struggling with pornography, masturbation addiction, and perhaps living with your parents, struggling financially, you need to quit all the bullshit. You need to throw out the video games. You need to get rid of Netflix and Hulu. You need to stop entertaining yourself. You really need to quit doing that shit. And you need to focus on getting your finances together. You need to focus on getting your career together. You need to focus on getting your health together. You need to focus on all those things that are holding you back. If you're like, oh my God, I have some guys who reach out to me and they're like, JK, I cannot afford your fees. Well, you cannot afford my fees and you're a grown-ass man in your 30s because something is wrong. Not because JK's fees are high. The reason why you can't afford that is because you're not where you want to be in life. And you're going to have to make some sacrifices to afford things like good recovery care. And it doesn't have to be working with JK. Good recovery could be getting a counselor. It could be joining a group, but a good group that perhaps is paid. Some of you are in really deep shit and need to be in a treatment center for at least a month. And I'm not kidding. Some of you watching this video need to be in a treatment center because some of you guys are seriously acting out. Y'all have crossed from porn addiction to sex addiction. You just don't talk about it anymore. So money is going to help you get there. I was talking to a guy on the phone the other day and he asked me, JK, what is the point of making money? A lot of guys are shocked when they get on the phone with me and they think we're just going to talk about porn. They think they're going to get some tips and some tricks and some strategies to quit porn. No. Recovery with Porn Reboot is holistic, which means we are going to address every area of your life. And if you are not ready to honestly address your relationships, to honestly address your finances, to address your health, and on top of that, we are going to, of course, deal with your porn addiction. But if you are not ready to address all those things, do not apply to work with me. Your life is going to be balanced as we can get it. And if you get on the phone with me and we identify, like, hey, your health is shit, well, you're going to get accountability from me to work on that. If we get on the phone and we find that, hey, your finances are just a mess, well, you are going to get accountability from me to work on that. Now, I'm not going to manage your finances for you, but I may put you in touch or I might make suggestions to work with certain people who are professionals in that area to help you out. I'll give you access to resources that can help you in a very short amount of time. That's what I do. So guys, all of those of you who have been hesitant and being like, I don't really know what JK does, understand that it is holistic, and there are 4 things that I always look for in my system. My system covers community. Community includes accountability. We're going to stop you from isolating yourself. The second thing is we're going to do the deep work that needs to be done on your trauma. Did something happen to you in the past? Did something happen with your parents? Did something happen through your childhood that we need to address? We're going to focus on your environment. I want to see the type of environment that you're in. You know, do you have a problematic relationship with your girlfriend or your spouse, your wife? We're going to address that. We're going to dive deep into that. We're going to talk about your biochemistry. We're going to see what your health is like, what's going on with your body, what are your hormones like. Maybe you have low testosterone. Maybe there's something health-wise that's going on that needs to be dealt with. We are going to focus on these things and we're going to handle them. So it's holistic recovery. That's what my system is based on. So I got to put some gas in my car, guys. But that is my message for this morning. I really hope you guys take this seriously, especially those of my brothers who are in their late 20s and early 30s, okay? This is your last chance, guys. I shot a video on homeostasis and the tendency of an organism to not want to change. And in this case, the organism is your brain. Your brain does not want to change at that time in life. It becomes more and more difficult to change your brain and to pick up new habits. And some of these habits are going to involve things like your finances and your health, your mental health. So I don't want to see you guys screw up, okay? So if you have any questions, any thoughts about this, guys, leave them in the comment section below. I'll respond to every single one, okay? I got a lot of calls to make today, but I will get back to you guys before the end of the day. I'll log back into YouTube and do that, all right? I'm JK, your brother in this struggle. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video and have an awesome day.